Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here. Today I'm going to show you how to create my new braided knots bracelet. This bracelet is my own original design that I recently came up with. I think it's super cool. I like how it looks like little knots and they kind of stick out a little bit when you're looking at it. And then if you're looking closely at the top, it reminded me of a braid, like just at the very top. So that's why I named it that. It does take approximately 110 bands to make, depending on your wrist size. You can wear it on the back side as well if you'd like. This is what the back side looks like. So it wears fine on either side. So this side is completely flat, but it kind of has a unique look to it as well if you like that look. But this is definitely the signature side and my favorite. But yeah, so it's definitely not too hard to make. And without wasting your time any further, let's get started. To make this bracelet, you need one loom, one C-clip, and your hook. Make sure that your loom is set up in a staggered position like so. And it only requires 7 pins for this design. So it's basically this circle right here, and this middle pin is what I will be using today. Just make sure you have an opening for your bracelet to grow down between there. I will be using white for my border bands, and then I'm going to just use the new pastels colors from rainbowloom.com. So to get started, I'm going to be grabbing 2 colored bands. So I'll start with my purple. We're going to lay 2 vertical bands here. Actually 4, because 2 on this pin and 2 on this pin. So make sure that these vertical bands are double banded, and you're just going to lay them straight across like that. Grabbing 2 more bands and doing the same thing on this pin here and laying that straight across like so. Now we have to grab our border band, and this time we will be using single bands, and we're going to lay that horizontally here, and then we'll lay another one here. So 1 single band crossing over the purple, making sure you start on the left side, and then 1 more single white band crossing there. So it kind of makes like a H. Push that down. And now what we're going to do is a hooking step. So we're going to grab these 2 bands here, and we're going to connect it up here, and we're going to do the same here, connecting here. So you do have to kind of work around that middle pin. So starting on the left side, grab your 2 bands carefully and stretch it up here and connect it to that right pin up here. And now we're going to grab the 2 bottom right bands, and we're going to connect it up here. I usually kind of come to the right first and then stretch it over to the left, only because if you pull it like this, sometimes it could pop the white band off. So I kind of just bring it over and then just swing it to the left. Doesn't really matter, I just noticed it helps with that white band not popping off. So this is what it should look like so far. So just push your bands down a little bit, because we need to have some room. Now starting on the right top pin here, from the outside, we need to grab the 2 bottom bands on each of these pins. So starting on this top right one, grabbing those 2 bottom bands, and we're just going to pull it over the pin and bring it into the middle, like that. And we're going to do the same on the left side. So grabbing these 2 bottom bands from the outside, bring it over the pin and into the middle, like so. Now we're going to bring the bottom 2 white bands up and over, just like that. Push that down, and now we're going to bring these back bands also on the middle pin. So we're going to grab the 2 on the right, place them back on the middle, and grab the 2 on the left and place them on the middle. So now we have a lot of bands on this middle pin here. And this is the trickiest part of the bracelet. We actually have to loop the bottom 4 bands up and over on this middle pin. And there is a white band actually separating, because there's a total of 8 on here. But it's like hard to see. I mean, you'll see in person what I'm talking about. So there is a divider, but it's very hard to see because it's the same color. So what I do You need to make sure you're only grabbing 4, and since it is a lot of bands, I use the back of my hook and I kind of just push in so that I can get a nice grip of all 4, and then I carefully just shimmy it over the pin like so. If your bands are twisted, don't worry, we can fix that in the end, but I try to take my time because those bands you do see in the knot, so you want them to be as like clean and straight as possible. But no worries, we can fix it at the end if not. So that's all we're going to do for now, and now we have to add on another layer. So now I'm going to go to my yellow, and we're going to do the same layout again. So you're going to stretch 2 bands on the left side and 2 bands on the right side. Grab your border color band, and we're going to lay just a single band going horizontally and another single band over that. So we made our H, and now we're going to do the crossing again. So I'm going to grab my 2 yellows on the left and bring it up to the right. And now grab these 2 down on the right and bring them up to the left. Like so. Now, before we do any looping, this is the only part that's different from the first time. Before we do any looping, we have to loop these bottom 4 bands that were left over up and over the white ones. So be very careful not to pull off those white bands. And just let that sit like that. Push that down. And now we're going to bring the bottom bands on these pins back to the middle, always starting on the right side. So top right corner, or top right pin, grab the 2 bottom bands, swing it over the pin, and place it back, sorry about my finger, place it on the middle. Coming to the left side, we're going to do the same thing. Grab the 2 bottom bands, swing it forward, and put it on the middle. Now we're going to grab the 2 bottom white bands, bring them up. And that's the divider that I was talking about last time. That is what separates these 4 bands from the 4 we're about to put on. Push those down. And now we're going to bring these down. Starting on the right. Bring that forward. Now grab the left 2 and bring that forward. Now we need to bring all the bottom 4 bands up and over the middle. So if you want to grab it like this, you can, but usually you're not going to be able to get all 4 on your pin or hook. So I like to just push my hook in there. Make sure you're getting inside the correct band because you only want to grab 4 of them. And it may seem a little tricky at first, but you definitely will get the hang of it. And when you pull it up and over, just be careful not to pull any of those other bands up or off of the pin. So you can let your bracelet grow down and come through this space, or you can pull it out here. It kind of wants to wrap, so it's probably going to want to go through the hole. If it's too thick or gets stuck, just kind of squish it down in there. Once it's long enough, you can pull it through. So now that we have 2 layers on our sides, you're just going to grab the 1 band, bottom band, and bring that up, and do the same on the left side, like so. Push that down, and we're going to go ahead and add on another layer. This time I'm going to be using pink. And remember, every time we lay our vertical bands, they are going to be double bands. Laying 2 on the left and 2 on the right. And now grab your border bands, laying 1 horizontal here and the next after, like so. So now we're going to grab our left side and cross it up to the top right. And now grab the bottom right and cross it up to the left. Before we do anything else, we have to do our looping on the middle. So grab all 4 of these bands. Carefully bring it up and over that middle pin. Push it down. Coming up to this top right pin from the outside, we're going to grab the 2 bottom bands, swinging that over the pin and bringing it to the middle. And doing the same on the left side, grabbing the two bottoms, bringing it over and into the middle. Now grab the bottom two bands and bring it up and over. Push that down, come back to the top right, bring it to the middle, and grab the top left and bring that to the middle. So if you keep it separated like that, it will definitely make it easier. So push your hook in, grabbing those 4 bottom bands. We're going to slip that over the pin. Whoops, you don't want that to happen. One of my top bands popped off. So just push it down a little before you bring the bottom bands up and over, because you don't want that happening. If you need to place your finger like back here to make sure these don't pop off, you can certainly do that. But just bring all 4 of those over like so. And now the last step for this layer is bringing the bottom band up on the sides. Like so. Push it down. And let's do that again. So now I'm going to use my blue, grabbing 2 bands, stretching it vertically. And now my white border bands, I'm going to lay 1 and 2. I'm going to stretch this up to the right and stretch this side up to the left. We're going to loop the middle pin here, grabbing all 4 of the bands. And if you can't get all 4 at once, you can always grab 2 at a time, but grab the top 2 first and then the bottom. I think I actually grabbed 3 and then 1, but however you do it is fine. Just make sure they all 4 get over. Push the middle down so you have room for your next bands. Grab the bottom 2. Remember to start on the right side each time you're bringing these down to the middle. And then grab the 2 on the left and bring them forward also. Grab the bottom 2 and bring it up on the middle. And now we need to bring these down as well. And now we need to grab all 4 of these bottom bands and bring it up and over the pin like so. I'm going to grab the bottom band on the sides and bring it up. I'm really sorry if my hand keeps getting in the way. So now I'm going to use, I think this is supposed to be like the teal or turquoise. 2 bands. Once you do this after a few times, it really is easy. I know it seems like we do a lot of looping on the middle pin particularly, but you definitely get used to it. I actually enjoyed making this design, and I hope you guys like it as well. Okay, so, oh, excuse me. We're going to start looping again. So, grabbing the bottom left, pull it up to the right, grabbing this one, bringing it up to the left. And I always do that before I loop this, because you could technically loop this one here before you loop it, but it creates that tension here. So that's why I wait until that's done to do it. Grab all 4 of these bands and bring it up and over. And now we're going to bring the bottom bands back to the middle again. So grab the 2 bottoms. Like so. Grabbing the top on the bottom 2 on the top left. Bringing those down. Grab the bottom 2 whites. Bring that up. And now we have to bring the rest down to the middle. Like so. And now grabbing the 4 bottom bands and looping them up and over. Loop the bottom band on the right and left side. And mine, I believe, is starting to grow out the bottom here. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tug. So you can see it's starting to form. And if your like knot part, the thick part here, is covering the braid right here at the top, don't worry, because I'll show you how to fix that at the end. It looks cute either way though. Okay, so now I'm going to use my peach. I'm just going to continue doing this, maybe two. Sorry guys, my camera cut off on me in the middle of talking. So basically where I left off was laying my 2 verticals. So make sure you have 2 verticals here and 2 vertical bands here, just like we've been doing. And now we're going to lay our 1 single band there and 1 single band here for our border. And repeat the steps, crossing this up to the right and crossing these up to the left. Bringing these bottom 4 up and over. And now we're going to cross back the bottom 2. And do the same on the left side. Bring up your bottom 2 bands. Basically, after, a good way to remember it is after you bring the bands to the middle, you always have some type of bands under here to bring up and over. I guess that's a way you can look at it, because I know we do a lot of looping on this middle pin here. So now that we've brought the bottom up, we're going to bring the rest of our bands down to the middle. And now bring your bottom 4 bands up. And then bring the very bottom band up and over. Like so. So I will just do it. I know I've done it quite a few times already, but I'm just going to do it a few times just in case it's confusing to anyone. If you've already caught on, you can certainly fast forward and I will show you how to close it up at the end. use my finger just because it helps not lose any of the bands. You'll notice as you're making it, it definitely helps. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up the length of my bracelet, and then I'll come back at the end and show you guys how to tidy it up and how to close it up. So I will be right back. If you have any problems, please watch the previous instructions. Okay guys, so I did go ahead and finish up the length of my bracelet. To close it up, you just need one single band on the ends, and then you have the 4 on the middle still. To close it, we're just going to split the middle bands amongst these 2 pins here. So just push your hook in and grab the very top 2 bands, and you're going to stretch that to the left and place it back on the pin. And then you're going to grab the bottom 2 and just bring that over to the right, like so. Now we're going to take one single white band, and we're going to stretch it on these 2 pins, but around that middle one. So place it on the left side like that. Pull it around the back of the middle pin, and then place it back onto the right side, just like that. And now we'll pull all the bottom bands up and over. So there should be 3 on each. There's a lot of tension, so just be careful. Just like that. Now with your finger, just hold down the bracelet here like this, so you can grab onto this right side and then have it on your hook, and then put your hook in to pick up the left side, and then pull up like that and remove your loom. So you now have just these 2 bands on your hook, which is where we're going to apply our C-clip. And I'm losing focus, sorry. So grab your C-clip, slide out your hook, and pop your C-clip around those 2 bands like so. Stretch it out. Oh, and it's like kind of like one of those like kinky or lynx bracelets. I don't know if you've ever seen them where they can bend like all different ways, but it wears very nice. So come onto the other side, and it's very tight. But you're just going to grab these 2 vertical bands here, which should be white if you use the same border band as me. I use my finger to kind of hold it, and that's where you will attach the other end of your C-clip. Just like, well, make sure you get around both bands. I only got around one. Okay, there you go. Just like that. And there you have my completed braided knots bracelet. So if yours came out and the like knot part is pushed up, mine actually came out pretty good, but sometimes it's like covering the knot. All you have, or the braid, all you have to do is just go like this with that part and just kind of push it down. I like to do it when it's on the side, but you can use your fingers and just slide the bands down because they do move, and it reveals that braid a little bit more. So you can just go around your entire bracelet and just push them down like so. So I hope you guys like this video and like this bracelet. Please give it a thumbs up if it helped you out, and the subscribe button below if you haven't done so already. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all at my next video. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.